Beyond the Mic with Sean Dillon.
We're joined on the star line by writer, etiquette columnist at Real Simple, author of Waiting for Birdy, Catastrophic Happiness, and One Mixed Up Night, and the co-author of Stitch Camp. Her latest book is How to Be a Person. We welcome Catherine Newman.
Hi, thanks so much for having me.
Let's go beyond the mic. Why was this project so important to you, and was it something that you thought your two children needed?
Yes. The short answer is, Sean, it was. It was something my kids needed, and especially I have one kid in particular who's always been one of those do-it-myself kind of kids, you know. When she was 2, you couldn't tie her shoe. She was going to do it herself. And she grew up to be a teenager who was really the same. She was happy to help, happy to do whatever, but didn't want you to show her how to do stuff. So we needed a book, and the book we needed seemed not to exist. And so that's where the book came from, a book of just skills that you need to be a kind of helpful, decent person.
I know there's over 65 things in your book, but if you could put the list into the top couple things, what would they be?
That's a good question. I feel like, there's a chapter called How to Clean Dirty Things, and that's like the heart of the book in some ways. That's like, it's the stuff we really want to be sure our kids know how to do. Like, how do you unload the dishwasher? They're the traditional, I think of those as the nagging skills, the stuff we harass them to learn. So that's stuff for sure. But I feel like some of the interpersonal skills, which are a little subtler, are hugely important. How do you apologize? How do you have a conversation? How do you include somebody, which comes up for kids all the time, right? The new kid in the cafeteria, the kid who's joining your soccer team. How do you extend compassion and grace to people in your life? So I think of that stuff as really important and a little, harder to put your finger on in a way.
How's the quarantine period helped you teach your kids these skills, and how has the quarantine period helped other parents?
Yeah. It's so true that this moment is a unique one. Some of us, me included, got our older young adult, our kind of young adult home again unexpectedly. So my kid came home from college and lived with us again for 6 months. And he's like the greatest and such a fun, wonderful person. But suddenly when he came back, I was like, oh my God, this is a person who doesn't know how to do all this stuff. He doesn't know, he knows how to do a load of laundry, but he doesn't know how to deal with a stain on his sweater. He doesn't know how to roast a chicken. There were just these mom things that I was like, wait, you can't leave again. I have so much to show you. And that was a real opportunity for me. Also, I think for everybody, we were home a lot. Some of us still are. The kids are seeing how a household gets run. Some kids, maybe for the first time, a lot of stuff happens when they're at school. And maybe they thought the magic house elves were doing everything. And then it turns out it's like just your parents, it's like me, it's not like your clothes are in the hamper and then they're magically folded on your bed. Someone has to do all the things. And so I think kids are seeing that stuff, and we are giving them an opportunity to be helpful right now, which I think, to be honest, they're craving. I think it's such a strange moment, and they want to know they're part of it.
Catherine Newman joins us beyond the mic, author of How to Be a Person. Now, have you ever said something, then covered your mouth in horror like, oh my gosh, I sound like my mother?
Oh my God, every day, yes. It's so horrible. Have you done that?
I sound like my dad all the time. Now, my mom's a stickler about thank you notes. People who don't write notes don't get gifts.
Yeah, that's hardcore, but I get it.
Why are they so important in your mind?
Thank you notes. I don't think I'm an etiquette columnist, so I'm trying to draw a reasonable line here. I have really well trained my kids to write thank you notes. I think it's so special. If your grandma's going to spend 10 years knitting you a cardigan or whatever, the least you can do is sit down and write her a note. She's going to love it. you're going to be able to say, oh my gosh, you spent all this time and energy on me, and I'm so grateful. So important. Your friends give you like a gag, whoopee cushion, and you want to just text them. Okay. That's fine. I'm not going to make you sit down and write like, dear Robbie, thank you so much for the whoopee cushion. It meant so much to me. I'm trying to be reasonable, but I think a thank you note is a lovely skill to have in your hopper. And I want to say, I was just going to put in a plug because the other thing is a thank you note. Oh, I was just going to say, if you write a thank you note, you might distinguish yourself one day as a job applicant. That's all I'm saying.
What's the one secret to parenting that seems simple that people need to be reminded of?
That just being present and loving your kids is going to produce the best outcome.
Time's running out, so it's time for the Rocking 8. 8 random questions. Answer with the first thing that comes to your mind. There is no pressure. When it gets cold, I have to make this.
Hot chocolate.
Favorite documentary?
Favorite documentary, Honeyland.
What's the one thing that endears your husband to you?
I want to say my hot body, but I'm going to go with I make a really good meal.
Least favorite holiday?
Least favorite holiday? For grown-ups, Halloween. I love it for kids, but grown-ups in costumes give me a weird feeling. Sorry, everybody.
The one thing you can't cook, no matter how hard you try, is?
Eggplant.
What skill is still the hardest for your kids to know?
What skill? Cleaning the bathroom.
Favorite color?
Pink.
Now, who's the last person that nagged you?
Probably my daughter.
When it gets cold, she has to make hot chocolate. Her least favorite holiday is Halloween, and her latest book is How to Be a Person. My thanks to Catherine Newman for taking the time to talk with me today.
All right, you too. Thank you.
And that, my friends, is Beyond the Mic.